Yes, that's right. The good old Sega Master System. One of my first consoles I ever got as a kid. Old faithful. Good memories. Hang On, Sonic. Man, the memories are so good with this system. It was so good to me. I was always a bit of a Sega whore, as it was my first console that I got. But today what we're going to look at is the handheld equivalent. The Sega Game Gear, the much maligned handheld console, came out to compete with the Nintendo Game Boy. Not to rave reviews, even to this day. I don't know, they have a lot of problems with the capacitors. Audio and screens are going on them. Hi. Yeah, they have a lot of problems with capacitors. They can leak, or they lose their pizzazz, I guess. And what happens is the screens get not as bright, or they stop working altogether. And the sound is either very quiet or just non-existent. Another console, or handheld console, that suffered from the same fate was the good old GD Express, I think, or the Turbo Express, the handheld. But yeah, let's look. The thing I like about the old Sega Game Gear is I don't have one Game Gear game for it. I basically use it as a as a relatively portable sort of master system, because what you can get for these is this sucker right here, which is the Master Gear Converter. Well, it looks like it's a Sega product, so that's a good thing, because a lot of the converters, like, they had the honeybees and things like that. But what this enables you to do, slots right in the back into your cartridge slot, and click like so. And instead of putting in your Game Gear cards, you can run your Master System cards, which is a fantastic thing. So what we'll do is we'll have a bit of a look at it. Whilst I'm here, I've crouched down. Well, and I wonder why they don't work. What we'll do is, while we're here, we'll have a bit of a look at some of the games I've got for the Master System whilst I'm crouched down in the corner. Got some not too bad ones there. Sega's, oh gosh, yeah. Thanks, second-hand dealer. Yep. Sega Master System is probably my main forte for collecting. One day I'll get a set when I'm probably like 96 or something and broke. I don't know. I find the cases, as opposed to Nintendo, a lot of guys collect the NES and the Super NES games. I find when you've got the cardboard boxes, they just, I don't know, a lot of people threw them out back in the day. I've still got a couple of my original SNES boxes, but yeah, they're pretty tattered. So the thing that was great about these, they've got the great clamshell. Sega was pretty good with their packaging until the PAL versions of the Sega Saturn was pretty bad with the old cardboard packaging. Only a couple of loose carts there. I generally try not to buy loose carts because I could probably print some covers or whatnot, but yeah, I really can't be bothered. While I'm here, a few Mega Drive games there, just to have a bit of a squiz through there. Nothing too exciting there. Streets of Rage 3, which is a nice good one that I picked up, and the Punisher and things like that as well. Strider, an absolute classic. What I might do is I might actually throw the Master System version on the Game Gear, and we can see what terrible port the poor Master System people got. I remember playing Strider back at, oh geez, I was in high school, 7th grade, something like that, and just going, wow, that is awesome, on the Mega Drive, on a friend's Mega Drive, and finally got ported to the Master System. I was like, dude, I have to get that freaking game. Yeah, not the best port. It's pretty bad. But look, I was pumped that I had some sort of version of Strider because I didn't have a Mega Drive yet. So heck, you got to do what you can do. But yeah, it's still playable. So we'll have a bit of a look at that, and I'll show you how it all runs, and yeah, we'll go from there. Nice reflection. Alright, what we'll do is we'll quickly check this out. It's a pretty tricky thing to film. kind of similar to what I think the problems that the 3DS is having now. You've really got to, on certain angles, like it's maybe not be picking up in the camera, but you've really got to have it looking at it straight on, otherwise you're just going to lose clarity. Not the best screens. A lot of the people will be sort of used to the screens like in a Game Boy Micro these days, where it's very, very crisp. But yeah, we'll have a look at the bit of the old Strider. As I said, not the best port, but as I said, it's the best of what we had in the day. That's barely. Oh, there we go. You can kind of see something there. And that music, god damn, it just warbles on forever and ever. Oh, I rule at this game. So basically that's what you sort of got for Strider anyway. We'll try another one. Anyone who's had a Master System would know these classics. Originally came out with a Master System Plus. You either had Hang On or Jungle Hunt, or sorry, Safari Hunt, which is a light phaser game. That one down there, which is kind of good fun. But good old Yu Suzuki's Hang On, great fun to play. Might be a little bit hard to play a Safari Hunt on a Game Gear, but at least we've got a bit of Hang On action going on. So look, it's quite playable. As I said, it's not fantastic with today's screens, but look, it's good fun. The only downfall, it does monster through batteries like a mofo. I've currently got just a Sega Master System transformer plugged into it. That's quite sufficient to run that. I could go recharging like 6 batteries, but I really cannot be bothered. So generally keep it on the bedside table plugged in, bit of Hang On before you go to sleep, awesome. But yeah, as I said, these things used to monster through batteries, much like the 3DS does these days, so you'd think they would have come up with something a bit more decent. But mind you, the 3DS is using a lot more, it's got a lot more enhancements and whatnot, but anyway. But look, it's a good thing. Look, they're going for really overinflated prices on eBay at the moment. People are selling recapped versions of them for, oh god, what did I see the other day? It was $150 plus 50 postage, which is just insane. As you saw earlier, I've got another 2 of these things which I need to get recapped. I picked 2 up for $8 each. So if you know where to look, even if you buy one that does need the caps redone, definitely do so. As long as you know someone that can do the caps for you, it's well worth checking out. As I said, don't pay ridiculous prices for them. They are prone to failing. Apparently I think someone was saying there's like an LCD screen mod that you can do, which would be awesome. Or there's like I think it's an LED, like it's a backlit as opposed to a front lit. I'm not too sure. But as I said, don't pay ridiculous drug money for these things. As I said, look, I picked up those 2 they were like $8 each. They came from Japan, and obviously they don't do anything at the moment. I think it gets a bit of sand or a bit of maybe a bit of backlight through them. Nothing too exciting, but yeah, obviously they need the caps redone. This one's screen's pretty messed up, and that one's the best of the lot. Hi there once again. So what I could do, I could either sell these 2 off, or I could even just Frankenstein the best one and just use the one with the best screen. Another cool thing that these had, they also had, if you can see down there, you've got the VHF and the UHF signals that you could actually plug into the cartridge slot. You could have your little TV antenna, so you could actually watch a bit of television. Back in the days when we had analog signals, because I think it just had like some rabbit ears off them or something like that. I actually seen one of the guys on YouTube. I think he was playing Xbox 360. Somehow he managed to hook it up to a Game Gear, and he's cranking a bit of Xbox 360 through it, so awesome. Now, basically, that's pretty much all you need to know about the Game Gear. As I said, don't pay too much for them. They're not really worth it. You know, obviously eBay's not a good indication of how much they're worth. But yeah, look, as I said, if you're a big Sega fan, as I am, they're a great little addition to go sort of relatively handheld. And yeah, so hope this was some interest to you, and I'll check in soon. Thanks, guys.